So with the 2017 session more than halfway over, Republican special interest donors are getting exactly what they've paid for. Right to work, tort reform that closes the doors to the courthouse to Missourians, and the erosion of our public school system through the passage of statewide charter schools. The losers are Missourian workers, our most vulnerable seniors, those with disabilities, and more importantly, our children. The budget is pitting our children against our seniors. Each year we give away over $700 million in tax credits. We didn't have to start with the tax credits for our seniors. There are other areas that we could have gone, and clearly we had several options that we weren't even allowed to present on the floor. The governor campaigned on removing corruption from Jefferson City, yet anti-corruption legislation has gone nowhere. Instead, the pay-to-play culture continues, and the governor has created a nonprofit organization that allows him to hide the identity of his donors. Issues that are important to Missourians have not been addressed. Real ID, which will give our citizens the freedom to travel and access federal facilities, has gone nowhere. We have also failed to address the prescription drug monitoring program. Missouri is the only state not to have passed this, and Missourians are dying while Republicans continue to delay. Our Missourians deserve better. So with that, I'll take any questions.
Regarding anti-corruption measures, are you referring to Representative Arthur's amendment, or which bills were that?
Well, we've had a number of bills that deal with ethics. The only bill that we've actually passed out of the House has been the lobbyist gift ban, but Democrats proposed, I want to say, is it seven different bills that got a hearing, and that's pretty much about as far as they've gone.
Mr. Beatty, forgive me for taking a picture. I wanted to follow up with you on something I've asked you about several times, and that's the Department of Corrections.
Mm-hmm.
And I did ask the speaker about it. He didn't rule it out, but he didn't endorse it. But that's the issue of subpoenas. We just keep hearing more and more whistleblowers coming forward. The stories are getting worse about harassment. Have you heard from him yet? I know you wrote him a letter about subpoenas. And what is your reaction to these allegations that are coming out weekly in these hearings? You sit in some of these hearings.
Right. So I have been sitting in on the hearings. He has not addressed my letter. The Corrections Department has been pretty cooperative so far. The employees are very much willing to talk. I've actually visited KCRC in Kansas City, and approximately 20 employees actually showed up to voice their concerns. Last week, they removed the warden and 2 deputy wardens out of KCRC.
Fired them?
They were moved to different positions.
Is that what's going to be done in the Department of Corrections, is to simply remove some of the people that have been there all these years?
At this point, we don't know. I think the new director is going to need some time to be able to find adequate staff to replace some of the older staff. So I believe the director for KCRC moved to probation and parole, and they actually brought in 2 retired wardens to come into the facility.
As you know, the House Budget Committee released budget proposals. They say they've got one that fully funds K-12 schools, restores the money. What's your impression of what they've come up with?
So we're fully funding a formula that we reduce the number to reach. So at the end of the day, have we really fully funded our education system? We just passed a bill for charter schools. How much of that money will get diverted to charter schools, and our K through 12 public schools will never see it?
In the past, we've had a Democratic governor as a backstop heading into the second half. What's your game plan for trying to put the brakes on some of these Republican initiatives?
Right now, it's very difficult for us to do, and we're hopeful that our colleagues over in the Senate will have a little more success than we have.
You mentioned that there were other options proposed to try and fill budget holes rather than the circuit breaker tax cut, cutting the circuit breaker here in the next fiscal year. What do you see as options that we could see the money sooner to address next year's budget?
Well, I think we had a couple of options that we could have done. I think you heard Representative Meredith talk about how much we have set aside for surplus, even though we hadn't needed that amount, but we chose to cut that from the circuit breaker. Representative Quaid had a means test so that we didn't necessarily impact some of our most vulnerable. So I believe that there are some options. Now, to the budget chair's credit, he has agreed to actually look into that. So we'll see if it actually will save enough money that perhaps we can look at some alternatives.
Getting back to Kurt's question a little bit, just on being able to stop those Republican initiatives, you came pretty close on the charter school bill, because it was like an 83-76 vote. Are there any other issues that you can think of right now that you can maybe get those same numbers, or ideally get a few better numbers?
I'm not sure, because I'm not quite sure at this point what else they're going to put forward. We've seen nothing as it relates to economic development. They won't even bring, again, our anti-corruption bills to a vote. There's some criminal justice things that we still have to address as well. So we'll just have to see what our Republican friends bring forth.
What kind of criminal justice measures are you hoping will come up?
There are special prosecutors, something that I've filed. There is a bill for outside investigations for police shootings. We still have body cameras is still out there. So there are still a number of issues. We've been getting a few hearings, and then the bills get stuck in committee.
I think I've heard a couple of bills advancing that were recommended by the Ferguson committee, but overall, how would you rate the legislature's job this year in terms of addressing some of the issues that were maybe amplified or brought to light during Ferguson?
Well, we've gotten hearings, which we didn't get in the past. Representative Dogan has actually added my bill to one of his bills that he's hoping that he can get passed out of his committee. So I think we're seeing some baby steps, but not enough. Ferguson was some time ago, and we should have done something much sooner.
What are you hearing on Real ID? It mentions in here that right now, people getting on planes starting next year. Are you hearing anything about what's going to happen?
Absolutely nothing, which is unfortunate because I think that's what our constituents want. I know when I did my surveys, that's one of the priorities of our constituents. They want to know why our legislature has not taken care of this.
You hearing anything from the business community in Kansas City about this?
All of the business community, the chamber, the city this is one of their priorities as well.
Do you have any hope for PDMP this semester?
A small amount, but you know, it's unfortunate. As I said, we have a serious problem in Missouri, and people are dying. How many more people have to die before we decide we're going to do something?
Something that whenever I've talked to Representative Rader and Senator Schatz about that is their unwillingness to go along with Senator Schaaf's bill, which I believe is in the House now, or it's moving its way through the process. Is the Democratic Caucus taking a side on which one of those PDMP measures that they're willing to support? Are you willing to support Senator Schaaf's bill, or but because I know that the caucus has largely supported Representative Rader's bill in the past. What's kind of plan there?
We would prefer Representative Rader's bill, but I think we may have to be realistic and see, are there any modifications that we could do that we can still get through the Senate? Is that it? Okay, thank you.